I'm Sydney.
And I'm Julie.
And this is Restaurant and Retail Revelations.
Online orders simplified. Did we get the attention of some eager restaurant operators with that statement? Welcome back to a fresh episode of Restaurant and Retail Revelations, a podcast made possible by Revel Systems, provider of the leading cloud-native point of sale on the market.
Well, Julie, you've got my attention, and I'd like to add that on this podcast, we're fortunate to host movers and shakers from the restaurant and retail industries in our guest seat. So this week is no different. We'll chat with a representative from one of Revel's integrated partners.
That's right. Joe Heather is the UK and Ireland General Manager at Deliverect, which is an online ordering and delivery aggregator that helps elevate a restaurant's online game. It makes it even easier for restaurant staff and consumers to enjoy the online ordering and delivery experience.
And I am looking forward to asking Joe about the many ways Deliverect is simplifying online orders for hundreds of restaurants around the world. So let's jump right in to learn more. Here's Joe.
We are so grateful to have you on the podcast today, Joe.
Thank you, Julie.
And as we all know, online ordering and delivery continue to be really hot topics with restaurants these days. And that's where Deliverect solution obviously steps in to help in a big way. And at a high level, Deliverect seamlessly integrates online orders from food delivery channels like Uber Eats, the Grubhubs of the world, so many more. Can you share more on the many ways Deliverect helps simplify third-party delivery for businesses?
Yeah, of course. I think there's probably a misperception out there in the market at the moment that Deliverect is primarily middleware, like order injection into a POS system. In fact, over the years since it kicked off in 2018, it's turned into probably three things. You've got the order injection and certainly into that POS and going into a restaurant brands or a Q-commerce operation. But very much at the heart, we have a central management platform where you can manage all channels, you can manage all menus from one location with a really full reporting suite in place there. And then finally, we've got in-store operations where we unify all delivery tablets into one. So you take your likes of Uber Eats, Deliveroo, Just Eat. You might have direct to customer as well coming into place.
And this is a space that is always evolving. I think perhaps the platform nature, the fact that you've got all of this central management capability and then the reporting on the back end is definitely an answer to some of the evolution that's needed for the industry. And I'm sure it also keeps you on your toes. You are the UK and Ireland General Manager for Deliverect. So I'm just curious to know what that means for you in terms of a day in the life in the role.
Day in the life. Wow. Okay. Well, the nicest thing about the role is you're sat in the middle of, should we call it the market, the industry. So where Deliverect sits at the heart, you've got integrations with POS partners, you have integrations with dispatch partners, you have integrations and relationships with restaurant brands and Q-commerce brands, channel partners. And so it's quite a unique positioning. You get to kind of bounce off all kind of relevant suppliers and stakeholders within the industry.
Yeah. Oh man, it sounds like you touch a lot of different facets of the business. And prior to joining Deliverect, was your background more in the food and beverage space? Did it fit more squarely in technology? I'm curious to learn a little bit more about what experiences led you to this role.
I'd probably be defined as a loyal pup, and I've only had 2 jobs prior to this.
Okay.
So 4 years at Mondelez, which was Cadbury's Treacle Bassett, so in the world of FMCG. Merchandising in small retail outlets and then going to wholesale cash and carries after that. So a good experience within the FMC.
So Joe, pivoting just a bit back to Deliverect's current strategy in the market, especially in light of some of the other experiences that you've had, I'm curious to know, what are the macro trends that you're seeing in online ordering and delivery? And how is Deliverect solving for customer demands as the market evolves?
I think first of all, we seem to be aligning our business strategy more towards mid-level and enterprise clientele. So lots of locations, lots of menus, lots of variants. Central control is paramount. So Deliverect comes in and truly acts as a central place to manage all these multiple channels, all these multiple menus, and consolidate that down across this fragmented, as we call it, the omni-channel now in place. We've become certainly essential in there. Where we really pay dividends, though, is our global reach. So Deliverect has 42 or 43 now regions that we cover. We've got 15 offices, and we have 24-hour support in all countries. With that, we've got, I think, around the 500 channels. We've got 1,400 integrations in total. So if you are a global enterprise business and you want to drag and drop your online ordering solution into another market, we're there ready to go. We already work with your likes of Yum Brands and RBI and your Pizza Expresses of the world and Cafe Nero and Pret, and it really is super useful in terms of being able to emulate and copy that same structure in another region.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of similarities in Revel and Deliverect strategy in terms of really serving those upmarket clients and being a great solution for them. I know there's plenty of Revel clients out there already utilizing Deliverect in all the regions you mentioned, and we love a good client success story. I know Guzman and Gomez uses Deliverect. They're based over in Singapore and the APAC region. And they've reduced their delivery time by nearly 50% since implementing Deliverect, which is really fantastic. And I know that's got to feel good to hear. Are there any other client case studies that come to mind that just kind of highlight the many, benefits offered by Deliverect?
I suppose one of the big success stories here in the UK is Black Sheep Coffee. A brand that's opening a store a week at this moment in time. Excellent operation. They actually control online ordering, delivery service platforms, and they've even got their kiosk, which is Arch to Order, running through the Deliverect platform. So they're really centralizing e-commerce orders via our platform and then into the Revel system. So it's a nice tech stack, and it's working immensely well from them. Where they're a coffee brand who have now really driven well into the worlds of on-demand delivery.
Yeah, I love that so much. And one store a week, that is crazy growth. That's awesome to see. So, so for people who aren't already utilizing Deliverect, Revel clients in particular, I know that, we've got the open API, they've got the ability to add Deliverect to their tech stack because you guys are already a vetted Revel integrated partner. But in terms of what implementation looks like and how that process works, can you just quickly touch on what folks would expect to see and experience?
Yeah, now obviously you have many different types of POSs, many different types of channels. So the moment you go to consolidate delivery channels and order sources, you're instantly putting a banding of failure into place. That's just inevitable. And I would describe us as the place to come to experience slightly less failure than maybe the next option along, whether that be a direct integration into a POS or potentially using another supplier. So it's an unusual way to propose our product, but we want to fail less than others by having really strong, robust integrations. We really focus on recertification, something that we've done with Revel recently as well, where we're making sure that all the relevant feature sets in the channels are up to date with the integration into Revel system. And I'd say you guys are incredibly responsive to that, which then provides a really robust integration between ourselves, the channel, and of course Revel as the POS, and giving that great experience to the likes of Black Sheep Coffee and Guzman and the Halal Boys and a whole host and plethora of other accounts that we work with. I know it's tens of thousands of orders that we transition on a monthly basis, which is excellent.
Yeah, no, plenty of happy customers, and I think that was a very modest answer. I think Deliverect solution provides a really favorable experience to so many, and it's a pretty easily implementation there.
in terms of like when you're selling something out to the market, it's one of the most pleasurable products to use. There's a genuine issue out there of fragmented order sources, frustrations with menu management, frustrations with order injection, frustrations with analytics and getting eyes on the on-demand delivery data, and going out and proposing our proposition it's great fun. I've got to say that.
Yep. Yeah. And as general manager in the UK and Ireland, in your region, I'm sure you're always thinking about what's next for the company, whether it's strategically or what are some exciting milestones coming up, Joe, for you and the team, and what's on the horizon?
We're just approaching 300 million orders. So that's going to be coming up shortly. So that's a milestone in itself. Back in 2018, there wasn't a business. And 5 years later, you're in 42 regions, and you have global coverage, and you have all these wonderful brands in play. That's exciting. But yeah, 300 million orders, which is a key one. And it's probably a really boring answer, but the addressable market is huge still. We only have a fragment or a percentage of the enterprise clientele, the mid-market clientele, the SMB clientele, and you have thousands of restaurants and Q-commerce accounts who are online with all of these different channels, your Ubers, your DoorDashes, your Deliveroos, your Just Eat takeaways, your Delivery Heroes, and we only have a fragment of that. So in terms of our core proposition and the addressable market in place, that's an exciting place to be, and it's an exciting business with a lot of runway to dive into.
Yeah, I really love that. The potential is always such an exciting thing. So in terms of our prepared questions, we have reached the end of them, but this is the point where I want to make sure that if there's anything we didn't address, whether about your relationship between Deliverect and Revel, or the experience that clients can expect when they onboard with us, or anything in between that we did not touch on yet, if you want to share that now.
Ooh, well, but we can go into technicalities, but I think there's a case of sometimes just working relations. So you've got a really kind of we call it a lean team maybe in the UK, but a really highly engaged and working team. So you like David Norris. You've got Giovanni, who's in the product world, who are highly accessible. Where we have, lots of converse to and from between the parties. We met at a recent event, and, straight away we were drawn to one another into conversation. And, Revel, staying as agnostic as possible, Revel is one of those systems across our 500 POS integrations that certainly I have a fondness from working the UK and Ireland market.
Yeah, we love a team shout out. Those are great guys, and we have such a nice team established in the UK. Joe, thank you so much for joining us today and just sharing a little bit about your background, your expertise, and of course about Deliverect and how it's helping so many restaurants with their online ordering and delivery integrations today.
Great. And thanks to you Revel guys as well, providing great POS and great features and functionalities around it. It's a pleasure working in partnership.
Joe and team at Deliverect are such a great resource to our Revel clients. I'd like to extend another big thanks to Joe for joining us today.
Agreed. Our clients' ability to customize their Revel platform with integrations like Deliverect are a huge reason why Revel is the right choice for so many restaurants around the world.
And how great was it to hear that they're approaching 300 million orders across 42 regions? We love cheering on our partners as they experience that type of growth. And I would say especially so considering they first entered the market in 2018.
So true. It's really impressive. And to conclude this episode, here's a final thank you to Joe for his insights. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, make sure you like and subscribe to Restaurant and Retail Revelations on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts so that you never miss new content. We'll be back soon.